Okay, today we'll see same for plan layout. We'll see how to calculate the load on columns. Okay, so for load on columns, again you have to consider like floor wise. You have to consider all slab load, wall load, and even the self weight of the beam and self weight of column. Everything you have to consider, and that load acting on the axial load. After getting the axial load, you can find out what is the size of the footing that to be considered for the below that column. Okay, so for that first we'll see, I've written down all the loads that is calculated in the earlier sessions. So for from the floor slab we'll have here we have two slabs, that is S1 and S2. This is S1, this is S2, two-way slab and one-way slab. According from that, we will have S1 load as for the floor, it is 9.34 kilonewton per meter, and S2, that is for this one-way distribution, you have 10.28 kilonewton per meter. Same way for this roof, when parapet is considered, you have 9.19 and 10.13. Okay. So similarly, the wall load for beam B1 and B3, you have wall load 20.19 kilonewton per meter, and other beams you have 19.64 kilonewton per meter, and this small beam B4 you have 20.76 kilonewton per meter. Next, self weight of the beam similarly for B1, B3 2.16, this is 2.805, and for the B4 you have 1.515 kilonewton per meter. For roof wall you have W 4.32 kilonewton per meter. This is considering the parapet wall. Okay, so these are the loads that we have calculated earlier. Next we'll see for each column what is the how to calculate based on column area method or area of influence. Influence method, you are going to calculate the axial load on the column. Okay, based on this, first you have, suppose if you are calculating this C1, okay, area of influence is half of it, okay, half of this beam and divided by this half of this beam. This is your area of influence. Okay, for this you have to calculate this half of this is 3 meter, 2 meter, and this is 4 meter span. So half of the 3 meter, so this will be 1.5 meter, and this 4 by 2 is 2 meter. This is your area of influence. For this area you have to consider the slab load, beam load, and self weight of the wall load that you have to consider coming from that point, and which we have to calculate this column load from the top, that is from the roof slab or roof floor to foundation of the soil. Up to that you have to calculate the all the load calculations. Okay, we will go by floor. So first we will consider for this floor by floor floor weight, or then first we will assume the size of column. Okay, how to assume the size of column. Suppose if your span, this is your span, okay, suppose it is 4 meter, you can maximally assume the size of column as 0.23 by 0.23 meter. Based usually for residential building, okay, one side this will be a thickness of the wall, width will be considered as thickness of the wall. For depth we will consider usually 0.3 up to first floor building, that is for this ground floor and first floor building we can consider the column height, column size as 0.23 by 0.3 meter. Suppose if the span is more than 4 meter, greater than 4 meter, accordingly you have to increase this depth. Okay, increase the depth. If the load coming on the building also is more, then increase the depth. Okay, Then based on the height of the building, suppose if your height is varying too much, height of the building, this up to 3.2 meter you can consider. For residential building you can consider this. Suppose if you are increasing the height, then increase the depth. Okay, if you increase height, then also increase the depth. Or suppose for multi-story building, height of the building is more, so if you have multiple stories, so increase accordingly, proportionally you have to increase. Suppose here you have to give more depth, okay, and while coming up floors you have to give a little bit small depth than the ground floor. Again in the roof you can decrease the depth. Okay, for example, if it is a 20-story building, up to 1 to 10 meter you can give 700 by 700 mm. Again from 11 to 14 or 15 story you can give 650 by 650 if you are providing square column. Then above greater than 14 you can give 600 by 600. Slight you have to vary in the, if you go height of the building is more, then this is you have to consider like this combinations of column. Okay, as 0.23 by 0.3, 230 by 300 mm. Okay, this will be considered. This is a residential building. Okay, next we will see how to calculate the load on column. So first step, first we will see from this roof level to floor level, first floor level, from this to this one, first floor level. Okay, for that what kind of load? The roof slab load will be acting, and load from the beams, and then what will be acting? Self-weight of the beams, wall from beam, parapet wall and self-weight of the beam. First slab load, see here you are consider for this area of influence. So what is the slab for roof we have? This is S1 slab, so that is 9.19. Load from slab you have 9.19. Okay, we'll design for column C1 and C3, both also it will be same area of influence. Okay, this C1 and C3 column. So 9.19 into, you have to get a axial load, that is kilonewton. Here slab load will be kilonewton per meter square, that is 9.19 into, so you have to multiply by area of influence. Area of influence is 1.5 meter and here it is 2 meter, so it is 1.5 into 2. Okay, calculate. Next, load from parapet wall. Here load from roof wall, that is parapet wall, this is your load directly, it is 4.32 into, see the distance. So parapet wall is provided at the boundary, so you have above this beam, so it is 2 meter, and above this beam, that is 1.5 meter. So 2 plus 1.5. Okay, up to here 2 meter and here 1.5. So 2 plus 1.5 into 4.32. This is the load from parapet wall. Next, load from self-weight of beam. Okay, self-weight of beam. See here which end of beam is acting? B1 and B2. So self-weight of beam B1. B1 is here. So it is 20 point. It is one load. Self-weight of beam. So B1 you have 2.16. All we have calculated, this is the factored load, that is multiplied by 1.5. So 2.16 into B1 distance is, this is 1.5 plus B2. B2 sulfate is 2.805 into, this is distance is 2 meter. Okay, just calculate and get the Newton unit. 8 parapet wall 15.12, 8.85. Okay, next calculate, get the total. Total from roof level to floor level, total load is 51.54 kilonewton. Okay, next we will see next level, that is floor level to a plinth beam level, that is floor level to a ground level. Okay, same, I'll write L into S. This is represent as slab, load from slab, which is nothing but here floor slab, that is 9.34. Area of influence will be same, that is 1.5 into 2. Then load from wall load, here for B1 it is 20.19 into distance is 3 meter, 1.5 meter, plus B2 you have 19.64 into 2 meter. Next, load from sulfate of beam. Okay, so sulfate of beam is here, it is B1, it will be same. Sulfate of beam what you have calculated earlier, so 8.85 kilonewton. Okay, just calculate 28.02, and this is 69.57. Okay, next here from ground level to foundation. So ground level to foundation, load from here, only plinth beam will be acting, for that there will not be any slab load. So directly load from wall you have to consider, it will be same, that is 69.57, and load from sulfate of beam, that is equal to 8.85 kilonewton. Therefore total, here I have calculated total, just write the total value. Here 106.44 kilonewton, and this is 78.48. Okay. Next, calculate total sulfate of column, that is multiply by factor of safety, that is 1.5. Size of column is 0.23 by 0.3 into density of concrete, that is 25, and multiply by height of the building. So height of building is up to here, this is 1 meter, then this is 3 meter and 3 meter. So 3 plus 3 plus 1. Total load on column C1, C3 will be first, that is load from the roof beam, roof level to floor level, you have how much, 51.54 kilonewton, and from floor level to ground level you have 106.44. Next, from ground level to foundation you have 78.42 plus sulfate of column, that is 18.11. Therefore total will be 254.51. Okay, once you are getting this total load, then you can, using this load, you can find out the size of the footing. That once calculating all the column load, final for maximum column load, I will find out the size of footing. Okay. Next we will see for column C2. It is a similar type, but you have variation on the slab load. This is same. Here you have 1 meter and this is 2 meter. Okay, area of influence. Okay, so for C 0.13 into area of influence, that is 2 by 1 meter, so 2 into 1 meter. Next, load from wall load, that is parapet wall load, that is 4.32 into here wall load C, here it is again boundary, that is 1 meter and 2 meters, so 1 plus 2. Next, load from sulfate of beam. Here sulfate of beam is B1 and B5. It will be same almost, B1 and B5. You have 20.19 into B1 is how much meter? B1 1 meter plus B6 is 19.64 into 2 meter. Sulfate of beam is here B1 is 2.16, it is 1 less B6 is 2.805 into 2, 3.26 kilonewton, and this will be 7.72. Sulfate. Okay, next calculate. Total will be 40.93. Add all. Next, floor level to ground level, same way. So slab load, slab is here for it will be 10.28 into 1 into 2. Then wall will be, for wall load here 20.19 into 1 meter plus 19.64 into how much? 2 meter equal. Then sulfate of beam will be same, that is 7.72 kilonewton. Just calculate. We'll have 20.56 50 59.47. Calculate, get the value, total value, that is 87.75. 87.75. Next, from ground level to this foundation. Okay, you have just no slab loads, so load on wall, that is 59.47 plus load on sulfate of beam, which is nothing but 67.19 kilonewton. Then sulfate of column, that is 18.11. Therefore total load from all, that is column, for column C to add everything, this sulfate and this and this. You will have total column C4. Okay. See here you have, it is almost a side column. So you have area of influence. This is your area of influence. So here it is 2 meter, here it is 2 meter, and this is half of this is 1.5 meter, and here it is 1 meter. Okay, this is your area of influence. So area of influence is 2 into here 1.5 plus 1, that is 2.5 meter. So this will be your area of influence, that is 5 meter square. Okay. Next, then calculation is similar. First roof level to floor level or first floor level. So first load from slab you have, that is roof. Here you have, see, 2 slab also coming on that beam. So you divide this half by half. So here you have how much? That is S1, that is 9.19. 9.19 into area of influence is 2 into 1.5 plus here 10.13, that is 2 into 1. Okay. This is your sulfate of beam, that is here. It is for beam 3, that is 2.16 into distance is 1.5 plus 1.515, that is for B4 into distance is 1, and B6 is 2.805 into distance is 2. Next here roof, it is, so it is a parapet wall load. So directly the parapet wall load is 4.32 into distance. Here it is a parapet will not be acting on the B6 beam. Just you have to consider on the boundary, that is B3 and B4. So added B3 distance is 1.5 and B4 distance is 1. Okay. Just calculate. You will have 47.83 kilonewton. Next, sulfate, you have 10.36, and last from the parapet wall you will have 10.8. Therefore total, how much it is? 68.99. Okay. Similarly, next you have floor level to ground level. So LS is 9.34 into, this is area of same, 2 into 1.5 plus 10.28 into 2 into 1. Okay. So sulfate of beam will be same, that is 10.36 kilonewton. Last cell from the wall, there here you have considered only parapet wall. Here you have to consider wall size, that is for this B3 you have 20.19 into distance is 1.5 plus B4 you have 20.76 into distance is 1. Next for B6 you have 19.64 into distance is how much? B6 is 2 meter. Okay, calculate. So you have 48.58 kilonewton. Next for wall load you have 90.33. Okay, then total load will be 149.27 kilonewton. Next, from ground level to foundation, here you have to consider only the sulfate and sulfate of beam, that is same 10.36. Then sulfate of or weight of wall, that is 90.33. Therefore total is 100.99. Okay. Therefore, then sulfate of column, that is 18.11. Therefore, total load on column C4 is at 18.11, this and this. So total you will have 338.06 kilonewton. Now increase it by how much? 11 to 15%, because it is a side column. So for side column you will increase by 11 to 15%. For this corner column increase by 10%. Suppose if it is an interior column, here it is beam, here beam, here beam, all four sides beams, then you increase it by 16 to 20% of the total load of the column. Okay, so the total load will be 338.06 into, I'll increase here up to 12%, so it is 1.2. You will have 404.72 kilonewton. Next, to calculate size of footing, that is factor load from column is nothing but 404.72 kilonewton, and here you have to consider a working load. Working load is nothing but divided by factor of safety, that is factor of safety is 1 kilonewton. Then total load on footing, that is nothing but total load of column, that is 269.8 plus 10% of total load on column. Okay, that is nothing but 269.818 plus 10% is 0.1 times 269.8. Just calculate. Okay. Next, SBC of soil, that is soil bearing capacity, is nothing but 200 kilonewton per meter square. Therefore, area of footing will be total load, that is 296.78 divided by 200, 1.48 meter square. Therefore, size of footing is nothing but root of 1.48, you will have 1.2 meter. Therefore, the size will be 1.2 into 1.2 meter. Provide this size 1.2 into 1.2 meter, the square footing or isolated footing. Okay, this is how we will calculate the size of footing once you are getting the load from column. So after getting load from column, consider the working load. Then total load of footing, just add 10% of total load of the load, and this is your load. SBC will be known for the different types of soils. After knowing the SBC of the site, then find out the area of footing. Then from that area of footing you can get the size of footing. That's all how to calculate load calculations of column and footing.